Twilight at Bollingen, written by Murray Stein and Henry Abramovich, with Paul Bruche, Catherine Sheppy, Heike Weiss and Marco della Chiesa. Music performed by Barbara Miller. Sound design by Joaquin Rivas. Directed and produced by Luis Morris. Twilight at Bollingen is a production of Blue Salamandra.
The 84-year-old Carl Jung and his secretary and confidant, Aniela Jaffé, are sitting on simple wooden chairs on the terrace of Jung's tower at Bollingen, located on the shores of Lake Zurich, Switzerland. It is twilight in early August 1959. The sun is setting slowly over the lake.
I'm troubled, when alone, and it's night, and so dark and so still that one hears nothing and sees nothing but one's thoughts. I can see the slow, irresistible approach of the wall of darkness that will eventually engulf everything I love, possess, or wish for, hope for, and strive for. At that moment, all profundities about life slink off to some undiscoverable hiding place. And fear envelopes the sleepless one like a smothering blanket. Aniela?
I'm here. Be careful, you're carving so fast.
I want you to ask Dr. von Franz to come here.
Marie-Louise?
Yes, Marie-Louise von Franz.
And what shall I tell her?
Tell her I'm concerned. No, tell her I'm worried. And ask Dr. Neumann to come here too.
Erich Neumann? Is he in Switzerland?
He just arrived in Zurich from Tel Aviv for the Eranos conference. Call them and say they must come to Bollingen as soon as possible. Tell them it's urgent.
You know, they don't get along. They're like fire and ice.
Yes, I know. But I need to speak with them both together here at Bollingen.
I'll try. It will take some time. I have to think. Where would Erich stay in Zurich? I'll ask Dr. Horwitz. He might know.
I must see them as soon as possible. It's urgent.
Jung is sitting on the terrace at a round table at Bollingen. The morning sunlight is shining on him, casting a shadow on the side. Aniela brings in a tray and sets cups and saucers for tea for four. There are light gusts of wind rustling the pages of a notebook on the table in front of Aniela.
It's been 2 days already, Aniela. Are you sure they got your message?
Quite sure. I told them it was urgent. I expect them to arrive at any moment. Someone has arrived.
Neumann, thank you for coming.
Hey, Professor.
Yeah, we are waiting for you.
Welcome, Dr. Neumann. I'm glad to see you again. It's been a year since Eranos when we were together at the round table.
Oh, yes, I remember well, Aniela. This year, I will lecture about the image of man in crisis. I have been thinking about this topic ever since last year's conference. But, Professor Jung, when Aniela called with her urgent request, I was concerned that something terrible had happened to you. Like another heart attack. How are you?
My heart is fine, but my soul is troubled. I'm not sleeping well. Recently I had a vision in which a large part of the earth was destroyed. Thank God, not all of it. Later, on the left side of a city square, I saw large trees fallen over with fibrous roots exposed. Among them were some golden threads.
Oh. What can these dreams mean?
Such dreams occur at a time of crisis, usually on the collective level. That's why I asked you to come. Recently I was disturbed by a question a student at the Institute asked me. Since then I have not had any peace of mind. It stirred up a sense of crisis in me.
Yeah, but what was the question?
The student asked me, what is the shadow of analytical psychology?
Ah, the shadow of analytical psychology. What did you say?
I didn't know what to say at the time. And I've been thinking about it ever since. Aniela, what do you think?
First, Professor Jung, it is not your personal shadow. That's another matter, and you know it well.
Yeah.
I can testify to that from your memories, dreams, and reflections. I've seen your fragility. Most people overlook this because it pales beside the strength and power that radiates from you. And your humor, too. It is so infectious.
Oh.
No, it's not the group shadow cast by those who quote your writings as gospel. It's their need for absolute certainty about truth, as proclaimed by the pioneering genius, Professor C.G. Jung.
I agree, Frau Jaffé. Just look at the psychological club in Zurich, for example. Now there's a shadow. I experienced it following my lectures there. And even at Eranos, when C.A. Meyer stormed out of the room in the middle of my lecture. And how the members of the club reacted to my book, Deaf Psychology and the New Ethic, dismissing me only because I was not part of their in-group. I have to say, Professor Jung, I have experienced the shadow of analytical psychology in this arrogance among the people in your inner circle.
I must confess it's painful to me too. I'm very disturbed and deeply saddened to see it. And this is one of the reasons I am so concerned about the future of my life's work. The motive of the hostile brothers like Cain and Abel is archetypal. It's like a virus that infects groups. Once it is possessed by the splitting complex, the group will violently tear itself apart.
I'm glad you used the word group and not community. In my experience, there's little Gemeinschaftsgefühl among the club members. Everyone marks out their own territory and then they defend it. They are rude to one another, saying they do not want to hide their shadows, so they feel at liberty to express their emotions and feelings full force and without reflection. There's so little caring for one another. Where is the spirit of genuine friendship?
Yeah, you put your finger on it, Frau Jaffé. Too much egocentricity, too little relating to others as real people. I know, because I see that in myself sometimes.
I concentrated on the inner world of the psyche, on following the spirit to the depths and the heights. I feared the soul would be lost.
And it is so easily lost.
Another problem, Professor Jung, if I may say so, is the pious atmosphere surrounding your person in Zurich at the Psychological Club and Institute. From the outside, this looks like cult.
Professor Jung has done his best to combat these idolizations.
I didn't want an institute, let alone a Jung institute. But I felt I had to agree. The very name of the institution embarrasses me. I keep saying, thank God I'm Jung and not a Jungian.
And I say, thank God I'm a Jungian and not Jung. It must be hard to walk in your shoes, with all these projections coming on you.
It is a burden.
I will tell you what I am most afraid of, Professor Jung. Your psychology holds that there is a deep natural impulse toward wholeness, a unity that holds together the opposites. But I fear that analytical psychology will break into competing factions, each one claiming to have the truth and blaming the others.
Just like what happened to all the great religions, where an original, numinous vision fragments into endlessly opposing sects.
That must be Dr. von Franz.
Von Franz? Is that Marie-Louise von Franz?
Erich, please settle down. It was his wish to bring you two together. Think unity.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go open the gate for her. Hello, Dr. von Franz.
Hello, Miss Jaffé. Hello, Professor Jung. I came as soon as I could. What's going on? Don't tell me you invited him.
Yes, Marie-Louise. It's our colleague, Erich Neumann. I need both of you here now. Please join us at the table, Marie-Louise.
Thank you. So, Dr. Neumann, to what do we owe the pleasure of your company in Switzerland?
I have come for the Erasmus conference. It's the high point of the year for me.
Since Professor Jung no longer attends, I don't bother going anymore. The yeast has gone out of the bread of that land.
I asked you both to come here for a serious discussion about the future.
Please explain to them. This is so new and sudden for them.
Of course. You are my most creative and gifted students. Marie-Louise, you're like a daughter to me.
Oh, this touches me very much.
Ever since your first visit to Bollingen more than 20 years ago, when you were still a student at the gymnasium, there has been a special connection between us. And you, Neumann, you're like a son to me.
Oh.
You're taking our psychology into new lands and new directions. Your books are being translated and read on every continent. And dear Aniela, you are a muse for me, my soror mystica.
Oh, how warming to hear that.
I called you here because I want to place a challenge before the three of you. It has to do with my death.
Your death?
Yes, my death.
Oh, I'm very ready to take up the challenge.
What is the challenge?
As you know, I look to dreams as the ancients look to oracles. They speak to me of the future. Many years ago I had a frightening dream. I was in a dense, gloomy forest. Fantastic, gigantic boulders lay about among huge jungle-like trees. It was a primeval landscape. Suddenly I heard a piercing whistle that seemed to resound through the universe. My knees shook. Then there were crashings in the underbrush, and a gigantic wolfhound with a fearful, gaping maw burst forth. At the sight of it, the blood froze in my veins. It tore past me, and suddenly I knew the wild huntsman had commanded it to carry away a human soul.
A human soul?
The wild huntsman?
Who was he after?
I awoke in terror. The next morning I received the news of my mother's passing.
Oh.
I had a feeling of great grief, and I continually heard dance music, as though a wedding were being celebrated. One side of me had a feeling of joy, the other of terror and grief. I was thrown back and forth between these contrasting emotions.
Have you had other dreams, Professor Jung?
Several times over the last 2 years, I have dreamt that a new tower was being built for me across the lake, over there. Each time the dream appears, the tower is closer to completion. I don't know when it will be finished, but it won't be long. I'm leaving you with the challenge to continue the development of analytical psychology after my death. It's not nearly finished. It's just at the beginning.
Oh, absolutely. We have much work ahead of us. I've already begun preparing lectures on synchronicity.
Yes, and how will we deal with the shadow of analytical psychology?
Analytical psychology needs to develop a new myth for our time.
Professor Jung is the new myth of our time.
Yes, but the myth must be guided by the spirit of the self.
Where can we look for the spirit, for guidance?
Look to Professor Jung in his works. He is the guide and the center.
But in Hebrew, the word for wind and for spirit are the same. Ruach. What is that eerie sound?
That's my new Aeolian harp. I just installed it.
It's the voice of Aeolus, the wind god. Music played without human touch. It's the music of the spirit. I'm surprised you didn't recognize it, Dr. Neumann.
This suddenly feels like being in a fairy tale.
It is the only music with these unique harmonic frequencies. It was invented by the alchemist Athanasius Kirchner. in the 17th century. What a pleasure it was to read and interpret the Latin texts with Professor Jung.
Let's listen. The wind has picked up.
It reminds me of a UFO, another mystery.
Something is heard or seen, but we don't know what it is.
UFOs express emotional tension and signal change in the archetypal ground of the collective. I have the intuition a new myth is forming into collective psyche.
There are thousands of sightings, always accompanied by intense, unusual emotions.
All over the world, China, Greece, India, Melanesia, Indonesia, North America.
They are numinous, wordless, sounds of the divine, like the Aeolian harp.
It's a movement of the spirit.
Of course, it's an externalization of the collective unconscious.
Flying saucers are celestial mandalas, symbols of order which appear when there is a threat of massive disorder. It seems the self is emerging from the deep unconscious.
Mandalas offer a symbol for reconciliation and wholeness.
Creating mandalas has a calming, focusing effect.
Drawing mandalas in those years of the First War, I saw that everything leads to a single point.
The midpoint.
The path to the center is the way
To individuation.
Yes, you understand. Maybe we four can form a mandala here.
Yes.
It is afternoon in August 1960, 1 year later, at Jung's tower at Bollingen. Aniela is sitting in the courtyard beside the orphan stone. Jung enters and removes his heavy boots.
Where did you go?
I went outside, just beyond this wall. I dig little channels in the mud so water can flow in clear, rippling springs through the earth and empty into the lake. It's my favorite activity. Also, I was feeding the fish with leftover scraps of bread. I wish I could go sailing.
Tell me more about this tower, why it means so much to you.
Here, Aniela, I live with the ages, with all the centuries. The tower puts me in touch with things of long ago. There's very little here to suggest the present time. No running water, no electricity, no indoor toilet.
Yes.
If a man of the 16th century came here, Paracelsus, let's say, only kerosene lamps and matches would be new to him. I feel most at home here.
You have said it is important to leave space for the ancestors.
Yes. The souls of ancestors fill the atmosphere in this house. I try to answer the questions they left behind, unanswered. I carve rough answers in stone as best I can. You can see them on the wall over there.
Oh, yes.
See the bear?
Yes.
I draw on the walls like the cave painters. In the winter a few years ago, I chiseled the names of my paternal ancestors on 3 stone tablets and placed them here in the courtyard. I have become aware of the fateful link between us, like karma passed down. It is as if a silent, great family lives with me in this stone house, stretching through the centuries. And here I can be one with the self and see life objectively, the round, as something forever coming into being and passing on.
Do you feel your age?
Of course. Old age brings many limitations. I do not travel far anymore. My contact with other people is very limited. I hate the telephone. Yet there is so much that fills me with pleasure and gratitude. Plants, animals, clouds, day and night, the internal in man. The more uncertain I have felt about myself, the more there has grown up in me a feeling of kinship with all things. In fact, it seems as if the feeling of alienation that so long separated me from the outer world has become transferred into my inner world. I feel an unexpected unfamiliarity with myself. You see the orphan stone over there?
Yes.
That's me. I chiseled the text into this special stone for my 75th birthday. It is a stone that the builders rejected, but I saved it for this purpose.
What did you carve on it?
I can translate the Latin and Greek for you. It says, I am an orphan, alone. Nevertheless, I am found everywhere. I am one, but opposed to myself. I am youth and old man at one and the same time. I have known neither father nor mother, because I have had to be fetched from the deep like a fish, or fell like a white stone from heaven. In woods and mountains I roam, but I am hidden in the innermost soul.
Hidden in the innermost soul.
I had another vision. I saw that on a long shaft of wood a human figure was hung, which hid within itself all the loneliness of the world. Alone and hoping for nothing, this one hung and gazed down into the void. For a long time the figure gazed down, drawing all solitude to itself. Then, deep in the fathomless dark, there was born an infinitesimal spark. Slowly, out of the bottomless depths, it rose up, and as it rose, it grew until it became a star. And the star hung in space just opposite the figure, and the white light streamed upon the lonely one.
Professor, something is troubling you.
Yes, dear Aniela. Sometimes I feel like I'm leading an important expedition up a mountain through the forest. I'm so concentrated to find a way forward that I neglect to look back and see if anyone is still following me. I feel so alone.
But you yourself said that every person must find their own way. Is that not the way of individuation?
Yes, that's true. But if we are not in some way walking together, each might drift off and become lost in their personal projections and preferences. If people are quarreling now, what will happen to analytical psychology when I'm gone? When I'm nothing more than an ancestor portrait hanging on the wall?
That must be Erich Neumann, back from Eranos. Dr. von Franz will join us soon. She is staying in her tower. I called them here as you requested.
You know, I encouraged Marie-Louise to buy that piece of land. She wanted to build a tower too. My son was her architect. She spends many hours there looking after her toads and frogs. It's good for her soul to get out of her head for a while.
Yes. I'll go get Dr. Neumann.
Neumann, welcome.
Oh, hello, Professor. Aniela.
Welcome.
I had such a rich time at Eranos and the Round Table this year, as always. But I have never stopped thinking about your challenging question from last year.
About the shadow of analytical psychology?
Yes. Analytical psychology is so full of hope and wholeness. Its shadow must be pessimism, darkness, fragmentation.
That must be Marie-Louise. Thanks for coming, Marie-Louise. I asked Neumann to join us again.
What? Him again?
Please have a seat.
Dr. Neumann was just beginning to share his thoughts about the shadow of analytical psychology. Have you had any further thoughts since our meeting last year?
Yes, of course. I've been working with alchemical texts that touch the shadow. Wherever light shines, shadows always exist. The brighter the light of analytical psychology, the darker the shadows. The breach between consciousness and unconsciousness becomes deeper and sharper. It will become its own shadow, just like the Catholic Church. Fragile, defensive, inflexible, and finally incapable of growth.
That's why I dislike all organizations and institutions. When the Jung Institute becomes famous and sought after for worldly gain and power, it will crack and fall apart.
Dr. Neumann, I've heard you are working on a new book called The Child. They say it is poetic and colorful, and it has vision. I suspect reading it touches the child in all of us. You write about the beginning, not the end of life.
Yes, and the book shows how the mother dominates the early life of the infant, just as the Great Mother dominates the psychology of early cultures. The emotional attitude of the mother creates a sense of fate in her child.
When the inner condition is not made conscious, it appears outwardly as fate.
Yeah, and if a baby is loved, it will develop well and happily. But if the child feels unloved by the mother, it is faced with a dilemma, an unanswerable question. Who is to blame? Young children think only in terms of either or. Either it's my parents' fault that I'm not loved, or it's mine. If it's the parents' fault, the child is doomed, trapped forever in a loveless world. That will be their fate. If it's the child's fault, it will try to become a better, more perfect child and develop a hypercritical, unloving attitude towards itself. The anger it could not feel toward the all-powerful Great Mother is turned back against itself.
No, I beg to disagree, Dr. Neumann. The child comes from God, not from the mother. And the challenge is to stay in touch with that fact. If the child gets too distracted by the many sparkling but empty toys of this world, it will lose its way. Our task is to reconnect people to soul, not to the mother.
How can you criticize my work when you haven't read it?
I have read enough of your inflated rationalistic works, your great mother, your origins, your errors and psyche. You say you are continuing the work of Professor Jung, but you are taking away the essential mystery of his thought. What you are doing, Dr. Neumann, is terribly destructive of the spirit of analytical psychology, reducing what is eternal to the personal.
Marie-Louise, your tone is so harsh.
No, his work is a dire threat to all of our efforts to restore soul in this godless world.
Oh, Dr. Neumann, are you all right?
Neumann, you're in pain.
What's going on?
Yes, the body is the shadow of the spirit.
Neumann, you are still a young man, only 55.
Yeah, I apologize, Professor. Causing you distress is the last thing I want to do. What is important is not my health, not what Dr. von Franz thinks about my work, but the future of analytical psychology.
Yes, on this point I agree with you, Dr. Neumann. The most important thing is to preserve Professor Jung's legacy.
Yes, and the collected works are appearing now in German and in English.
This is important, but...
There are no buts about this, Dr. Neumann. We must study the master's words deeply and hear the spirit of the depths speak to us through them.
Jung's vision must not be frozen in text. It must be alive in people who are free to explore the soul, just as he did.
What do you mean?
If it is heresy to want our students to think for themselves, then I'm proud to be a heretic.
Do you think that following your own thoughts is going to lead you to more truth about the psyche than can be found in Professor Jung's works?
If that's all we do, then let me tell you what will happen when our beloved professor passes over to the world to come.
Oh, now he's a prophet. Let's hear what he has to say.
I pray I'm not, but I fear that you will come to see yourself as the sacred guardian of Jung's legacy. You will do everything you can to be loyal and create devotion to his words and simply to repeat them. You will decide what is pure and what is impure, creating an unconscious power dynamic.
It's incredible.
Yeah, when people oppose you, as they will and must oppose you, acting as the queen,
Too much.
you will get caught up in a complex of righteous anger and be the first to split the world of analytical psychology. This is what I foresee, Dr. von Franz.
And may I also prophesy? Your ideas and works are going to take analytical psychology right back to Freud. Castration, Oedipus, mother and child. It will be a total regression.
The two of you must find a way to cooperate.
Okay, yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Now I want to speak of something you may not know about. I've been working on a book with Aniela about my life.
Oh.
It will be published only after my death. I want to tell my story as I see it now, looking back from the distance of old age.
I think this book will be truly significant for your legacy.
How does it begin?
With a prologue.
A prologue?
There's a prologue, a Vorspiel. It sets the stage for what is to follow.
Ah, like Richard Wagner's operas. I love that piece in his great opera Parzival. It sets the mood for the revelation of the Holy Grail. I think of you, Professor Jung, whenever I sit through that marvelous work.
My prologue begins like this. My life is a story of the self-realization of the unconscious. Everything in the unconscious seeks outward manifestation. What we are to our inward vision can only be expressed by way of myth. Thus it is that I have now undertaken to tell my personal myth, my truth. All other memories of travels, people and surroundings have paled beside these interior happenings.
You see how he speaks? My task is to ask questions and record his replies.
I have to say that this autobiography is now taking a direction very different from what I expected. It has become a necessity for me to write down my early memories. I imagine I'm speaking to my grandchildren about my childhood.
Mm.
If I neglect to do this for a single day, unpleasant physical symptoms immediately follow. As soon as I set to work, they vanish and my head becomes perfectly clear.
Please excuse me.
Oh dear, I'll go with him. I'll check how he's doing.
I'm glad to have some time alone with you, Professor Jung. It's so much more comfortable. Dr. Neumann is so irritating to me.
I'm glad to have a moment alone with you as well, Marie-Louise. As you know, I'm concerned about my legacy.
Yes.
But I'm also concerned about you in a more personal way.
Why? What is your concern about me?
You know.
Ah, okay. You think I've not resolved my negative mother complex. And yes, you're right as ever. You see me clearly. My mother haunts me. Just last month, she had the audacity to show up at my lecture at the Institute. I did something unthinkable, something I've never done before. I stood up and left the lecture. I may seem so confident to others, but my inner life remains so conflicted. She still terrifies me. When I see her, I become a little child, afraid she's going to berate me, as she did so many times. I can't help it.
The feminine is a black hole for you, Marie-Louise. Not all women are brutes like your mother. When Neumann speaks of the psychology of the feminine, I see you nearly come out of your skin.
What can he possibly know about the suffering of a daughter who has such an abusive and stupid mother? Neumann is insufferable. He thinks he knows everything. He's totally ignorant of what women feel and suffer.
Marie-Louise, this is the dark feminine in you. It is a huge problem, not only for you, but for the whole world. She will destroy humanity if this problem is not solved. She is the angry collective unconscious, like a fierce and defensive bear. One way you can continue my work is to explore and analyze the dark side of the feminine.
What do you suggest?
You can delve into fairy tales. Do you know The Black Woman's Castle?
No, I haven't heard of that one.
It's Austrian, the country your family comes from. Fairy tales can be the way that you will continue our vision. And heal yourself. And please find a way to make peace with Neumann. He's a deep thinker and reaches people you cannot. By the way, I have something for you. Here is a piece of paper with a coded message. It would work on if I lived longer, but I will not.
What's this? You say that number is the foundation of the archetypal psyche. This is fascinating. What comes immediately to mind is some discussion I had with Pauli. If you enter number into time, you get the clock. If you combine number and time, you get rhythm, music, and then there is synchronicity. I'm going to work on this right away. Thank you so much. Number and time.
Oh, here come Aniela and Neumann. He seems to be better.
Yes, a bit better. Please excuse me, Professor Jung. I sometimes have severe pain in my kidney, and I must urgently find a way to relieve it.
I hope it's not serious, Dr. Neumann.
Oh, I fear it may be serious. I'm going to have it checked out by a specialist in London next week.
I pray you will be well, Neumann. We need you.
It is twilight in early May 1961. Neumann has died, and as we know, Jung will pass away on June 6th. Jung and Aniela are sitting on the terrace at Bollingen, enjoying the setting spring sun.
I wonder who will finish Neumann's book, The Child.
A good question. You know that Marie-Louise is finishing Emma's book on the Grail legend?
I don't think she will want to take up the pen for Neumann.
A bad joke, Aniela.
I wonder if she will ever forgive him for his condescending remarks on her work.
Forgiveness is not in the von Franz nature. Her family is noble, you know. They do not forgive.
And you, Professor? Do you forgive Freud?
I struggled with that for years. He did really hurt my pride. But now I see that there is nothing to forgive. He was trying to protect his status as king of psychoanalysis. He said he was creating a new science. But in reality, he wanted a new kingdom of followers. Those who could not accept his ideas became heretics who endangered his whole enterprise and were cut off and demonized. It was like a religion. He banned those who did not conform.
Including you?
Yes, including me and others. Revolutionaries like Freud and like me, who break with the past and bring something entirely new, face a terrible dilemma. On the one hand, I want my students to continue my teachings. But on the other hand, I don't respect them if they do only that and nothing more. This was Neumann's gift. He added to the body of knowledge we have developed.
How can they remain loyal to your teachings and be free to discover their own way?
Exactly. Aniela, why are you smiling? Come on, tell me. Even an old man can laugh.
I think I know how people in the generations to come can be loyal to you and free to be themselves.
Loyal and free?
They will read our book, your memories, dreams, and reflections, and they will see how you struggle to find your own way. They will realize that they too must struggle to find their own way. Your spirit will guide them, loyal to your spirit and also free to find their own way, loyal and free.
It sounds nice. But what if they slip off the path?
That is always a danger, but then dreams, even nightmares, will come to guide them.
You may flee your deeds, but you cannot escape your dreams. Aniela, do people know I'm dying?
Yes, they do. They are praying for you.
Do you know what text I have chosen for my tombstone?
No? What?
1 Corinthians chapter 15, 47. The first man is of the earth, earthly. The second man is the Lord.
From heaven.
Last night I had a dream. I saw a huge round boulder on a pedestal. Below there was a plaque inscribed with these words: "This shall be a sign unto you of wholeness and oneness." Aniela, please bring us that bottle of wine that I put on the shelf in the kitchen. I have saved it for a special occasion.
Sure, I'll go get it.
I know I have only a few weeks, maybe a month, remaining on this side of the lake. Will I die peacefully? I feel ready. It is so restful sitting here by the side of the lake. I can almost see what's over there on the other side, but not quite.
Here is the bottle of wine, Professor. Before you pass over to the other Bollingen, may I ask you a question, Professor Jung? How would you sum up your extraordinary life now, in the twilight, at Bollingen?
A man's life work is like a ship he has built and equipped himself, launched down the ramp and entrusted to the sea, steered towards a distant goal, and then left like a passenger in order to sit on the shore and gaze after it till it is out of sight. Like all three-dimensional things, it gradually sinks below the horizon. What remains is what has been. I am at the stream, but I do nothing. I never think that I am the one who must see to it that cherries grow on stalks. I stand and behold, admiring what nature can do. The difference between most people and myself is that for me the dividing walls are transparent. As a child I felt myself to be alone, and I still am. Because I know things, I must hint at things that others apparently know nothing of. It is important to have a secret, a premonition of things unknown. The unexpected and the incredible belong in the world. Only then is life whole.
Are you lonely now?
I have offended many people. For as soon as I saw they did not understand me, that was the end of the matter as far as I was concerned. I had to move on. I had little patience with people, aside from my patience. I made many enemies. I creative person has little power over his own life. He is not free. He is captive and driven by his daimon. This was my destiny.
I've seen your temper tantrums, but I have witnessed how much you love people.
It's a paradox, Aniela. I need people to a higher degree than others, and at the same time much less. When the daimon is at work, one is always too close and too far. Only when it is silent can one achieve moderation.
What else?
I'm astonished, disappointed, pleased with myself. I'm distressed, depressed, rapturous. Despite all uncertainties, I feel a solidity underlying all existence and a continuity in my mode of being.
That is what keeps you young.
That's the meaning of my name, Jung. Oh, Aniela, can you see who's at the gate?
Yes, I'm already on my way. Welcome, Dr. von Franz.
Hello, Frau Jaffé. Oh, Professor, I'm so relieved to see you. Last night I dreamt that you had moved over to the other side of the lake. I was devastated.
Marie-Louise, please take a seat at our table.
Thank you.
Do you remember the dream you had when you were in analysis with me? You landed the big fish from a broad flowing river. It was silver on the belly and gold on the back.
Oh, yes, I remember that one.
What a magnificent catch.
Yes.
Then you heard a voice and saw 4 concentric circles around you. And you heard the impressive voice tell you that the 4th circle embraces the whole. Both sides of the river, you, the fish in the river, all included. It unites the whole.
That dream was the turning point of my life. It gave me everything. My vocation, my meaning, my joy, and my suffering. It brought me so close to you. You are the witness of my inner life's journey.
Now, here is a bottle of excellent red wine that I have been saving for a very special occasion. I want to propose a toast to Aniela, to Marie-Louise, to the 2 of you who will carry on my life's work, and to those who have passed away. Remember me when I am on the other side. In the circle of wholeness, we are together, eternally. Prosit!